Hi guys, okay, so I am going to show you all how I set my hair in this video. I have to get my voice down a little bit because it's like 1:30 a.m. and I don't want to disturb my roommate who may or may not be trying to sleep right now, who knows. So like I mentioned, I have a new product. I'm very excited about this because I've heard a lot of reviews about the Lotta Body setting lotion. I've never actually tried a setting lotion, so my hair has a lot of natural curl all on its own, and so I've never actually gone that route before, but I'm really excited to do it. I've been wanting to do this for years. I've literally wanted to get this product for years, and don't ask me why $12 was something that I put off for years, but it is. So I've read mixed reviews about it, but the general consensus that I seem to see is those with really fine, straight hair have less success. At least that's generally what I've seen. I have neither of those things, but even those are saying, oh, you know, it's not the greatest for me because my hair is so straight, yada yada. I also saw other reviews saying the exact opposite, that it's the only thing that lets their really fine, straight hair curl. So if you have issues with getting curls or with keeping curls, I would suggest trying this product. I honestly, you know, I'm saying this before I've even tried it because honestly everyone's hair type is different, and so I don't like to make too many generalizations about a product just because I know that my hair type is a little bit less common. It's pretty coarse, it's fairly dry, and it has a wave to it, but it's also, you know, I can get it straight if I need to as well, and if I blow dry it, it goes straight, but it's also very frizzy. It's an interesting texture, and there's a lot of it too, which makes it a little bit more complicated. So the instructions on the bottle say to, on normal hair as opposed to dyed or bleached hair, you're supposed to do 2 to 3 parts water to 1 part Lotta Body. So I did that in my little spray bottle here. It's a little bit of purple tint inside. It actually kind of smells like peppermint oil, I think. I think that's what I placed it as. So the instructions are to fully disperse it through your hair with a comb, which I do have a comb, and I will be using that shortly. And then if you are doing a wet set and you get to a section of your hair that is still that has dried, then you're supposed to just apply more of the Lotta Body mixture. I'm really excited that this is a concentrated formula because I didn't realize that, and this is a 32-ounce bottle. This is going to last me for so long. I'm really happy. I feel like I got a really good deal for the price that I paid. Like I said, I have very thick hair, so I try to be very thorough when I'm applying a product like this. I just got out of the shower, so I'm going to, wow, that's helping with some of the knots a little bit, I think. It's either that or my conditioning game was on point tonight. Probably not that, so probably this helps with detangling. So that's interesting and not exactly what I expected. I definitely expected that if it did anything, it would probably add more texture. But honestly, if it's going to help with like frizziness and getting things smooth, then that's exactly what I struggle with. I forgot to grab my fine tooth comb, so I'm going to go and find that, and I will cut to when I find it, so it'll only be a moment for you. Hopefully it's only a moment for me. I will be right back. I don't know if there's anything better than the feeling of thinking you know where something is and then being right about that. It's honestly really amazing. So I have a great big bin of 10. Bin versus 10, that's what I was trying to say. A great big 10 of bobby pins here. I bought them on Amazon. And I will say I bought them because of volume. There's a ton of them in here. I don't remember how many thousand. What I don't appreciate about these is that the plastic coating comes off in little black flakes and then ends up falling all over my chest and shoulders and making me look like I have some sort of like diseased black dandruff. I don't love that. It's kind of difficult to get off and it gets stuck to my phone screen for some reason, but you know, and then also they're just a little bit tight and they can be hard to separate. So I'm hoping I don't run into that too much in this video. For your purposes, if you're wanting to pin curl your hair, I think bobby pins are honestly a really great way to go because you can get a good firm lock on them by doing a crisscross over the curl like so, and they just hold everything in place. Now, the problem you can run into with a bobby pin is that if you put it in the wrong area of the curl, then that can actually affect how the curl comes out and it can leave dents in it. If you're going for more of a messy, super curly vintage style, it won't really matter too much, but if you're going for more of a sleek style with maybe some finger waves, anything like that, then you might want to look into alternate options. For instance, like duck clips or other softer hair clamps. I've seen some people who use hairpins as well. I don't think that would work on my hair just because it's very heavy, but I don't know, and I'm actually willing to try it at some point. There are also tons of other products out there like spoolies, which are those little round rubber things that look like pop tops that you basically wind your hair around and then like pop onto your head. I've never tried them. I feel like they're probably a bit too gimmicky to be particularly useful, but then again, if I'm wrong, then, you know, by all means enlighten me, because again, it's a product I haven't tried. My sister did try it and said that they weren't particularly successful, and from my understanding, the original spoolies from the 1950s were rather different than what they produce today. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to find vintage products that have been around a while. Look into whether they're actually the same product anymore or if mass production and labor costs have caused them to become the cheaper versions of what they once were, because that can make a really big difference in quality. The other option that you have, oh, I feel like there was one other, so there are also people who like to use foam rollers or even heated rollers. That's fine, and I know some people who really can't get any sort of a curl without a heat method. My feeling towards rollers in general is that if you're going for a 40s or a 50s style look, then the rollers are not going to accomplish that. You can get a 60s look easy because they basically only used rollers at that point because there was so much volume and all the bouffants and everything. But the 40s and 50s and before, what they were really looking for was curls, yes, but also the very sculpted wave patterns. And I've never seen anyone successfully get that wave pattern with a roller set. Now, that's not to say that you can't get beautiful curls with it or that you can't style it in a way that looks very 50s, but if you're looking for a curl and go kind of a method, pin curls are the way to go 100% all the time, always. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. You can disagree with me, of course, but that's how I come off of this. And also, I think one of the main purposes of doing a pin curl set is to alleviate some of the heat damage. I don't like putting a lot of heat into my hair because I try to keep it, you know, healthy. And so adding a bunch of heat just seems like a bad idea for a routine. Now, I'm not going to say that your hair will dry overnight because frankly, that's rarely my experience. The last time I did a pin curl set, I took it out after 13 hours and it was still damp. But again, I have a lot of hair, so that might not be your experience. If you get a blow dryer cap, you can always use that to try and, you know, make the experience a little bit better. So I'm just going to share with you my basic pin curl set that I have found works well for me. There are tons of different setting patterns out there that you can find from like extant hairdressing books and things like that. I always try to go for source material because a lot of tutorials, not all of them, because some people really do care about like historical accuracy, a lot of people do, but a lot of the more poppy articles that you're going to see or videos or anything like that trying to show you how to do a vintage hairstyle are actually more focused on, oh, vintage hair was curly and had a lot of volume on top. And then you end up with those really bad looking Marilyn Monroe reproductions that are all ratty up here and like up to here and then flat on the sides and with ringlets. And that is not a vintage look. But I find you can find these pictures all over Pinterest for the old setting patterns. And if you look at them, you study them, then you begin to realize what it is that's creating these patterns. So my favorite pattern that I like to do, I like to section off my hair in the front right here first. So see if I can show you. I don't get like super technical about it. That's a pretty straight line and it will do. I just sort of pull the rest of my hair to the side there. And I'm going to do 3 curls. So 1, 2, and then 3. And I'll show you how to successfully roll a pin curl because this is the part of the method that is probably the most crucial to your success in a pin curl. So first of all, you want to brush it out so that all of your hairs, well, comb it out. I wouldn't suggest using brush way too big. So that all of the hairs are laying flat. And I usually do it so sort of straight out from the hair and a little bit down. Some people will go a little bit higher up and brush it like that if you need help with volume. Again, I don't really need help with volume that much because I can get the volume afterwards. So I like it about here. And then what you're wanting to do, you have it all combed flat. And we'll see if you can see this. So some people, they say to wrap it around 2 fingers, which you can do. I tend to do it a little bit differently. You want to keep the flatness. And if you can see, I sort of curled that end under right here. So I just grabbed the ends of the hair. And now I have to redo it because I was showing you. It's a little bit difficult to see right now, which I'm not loving. I thought the light would be okay. But there we go. So my hair is different lengths. So you get it like that, and you can see the end sticking out here, and then you just sort of pinch, and you roll it up. And if you notice, I'm keeping all the hair flat. I am twisting nothing, and I am rolling it so that the curl is going like this, sort of towards the front of my face. But I'm going to do a flip-flop at the end, and this is how I have found that I can achieve that barrel curl. So see, up at the top, it's just sort of rolling right under, and I'm going to turn the curl and put it up on top. So I don't know if you saw what I did. So the curl was rolled up, and then I'm just taking the direction of the curl, and I'm placing it right on top of the hair that I rolled. Then, it's really bad for your teeth, you shouldn't do this. I'm taking the bobby pin, and I'm going first from this direction, and then I'm crossing it up here, right, like, it'll go through. There we go, right like that. And that's going to really hold that in place. So basically, I had the curl like this, right? So it's like going like this, the direction of it. So these are my roots, this is the tips. And then I put a bobby pin across and a bobby pin across. And that creates that nice anchor so it doesn't move. So I'm going to then move on. You know what? I know I said I was going to do 3 sections, but like, I'm actually going to just put that back there. I'm just going to do 2 sections today. So again, if you need to comb it out a bit, do keep it flat, like so. Do not twist it. If you twist it, what's going to happen is you're not going to get that sleek look at all. You are going to get more of an 80s perm look. And honestly, my mom told me how she used to do her hair back in the 80s, and it was basically twisting it to get like all those little spiral curls. Cute look. If you want to recreate that, by all means do. Not 50s though. People with spiral curls in the 50s always were trying to tame them. In case anyone ever saw that movie, The Help, they do sort of talk about that. So the next thing I'm going to do, the other thing to keep in mind, I always make sure that all of my curls face the same direction. So on this side, they're facing this way. On this side, they're facing this way. So I'm going to section off the rest of my left side hair, not the back here. like so. And then I'm going to find the layer. I'm going to do 2 layers. And I want these to be sort of like similar in weight. Now obviously the top hair is longer, but I want to make sure that I'm keeping things even. And then I'm going to section off, again, like this much hair. And when you get to the bigger sections, you might want to have, or I'm sorry, not the bigger sections, when you get to the longer hair, you might want the sections to be a bit smaller because that gives it a better chance of drying evenly and of maintaining the same level of curl as you have all over your head. Because it is longer and therefore it's going to be more hair rolled up on top of itself. So again, I'm rolling it under, and then I'm turning the curl to the back on top, doing bobby pin from the top, and another one to cross it, like so. If you're doing this, and then I'm just going to part this off into 2 more sections. If you are doing this and you have somewhere to go the next morning, I would suggest that you actually blow dry your hair just a touch before you do your hair curls. You can even blow dry it fully, and if you're using a setting lotion, now, okay, I want y'all to realize, I've never used a setting lotion before, this is a first, ergo, this advice is things that I know in a book smart way and not in a practical way yet, but I am fully intending to try this. So the idea though, that you can fully dry your hair and then add in setting lotion to give it some dampness so the curls will hold, and then it should be able to dry overnight. Easy that way. The other option being a blow dryer, whether or not you have a hood. I would like to get a hood. I'd actually like to get one of those portable bonnet style hoods. I don't have one though. But if you have one of those, then, you know, just wear that around the house the next morning or whatever. I mean, we're all in pandemic world right now, so we don't have time around the house, right? Except for all of the essential workers who are doing God's work right now. But yeah, like, ow, I should really not use my teeth for that. That's probably why I have tooth sensitivity. Yeah, use my fingers. Be a good steward of my body as I am commanded to be. Okay, so now I am moving on to this next section. Now, if you are afraid that you'll lose track of your sections, by all means use a clip, use ponytail holders, use whatever it is you want to keep your hair sectioned off. That's a great idea. Mine stays separated pretty decently on its own, and I've done this so many times that, like, I can figure out where I want things to go. So it's do as I say, not as I do, you know? One thing that I'm going to change from what I've done the last couple of times is I've gotten lazy about my back hair and the hair on the back of my head, not like hair on my back. I just realized how bad that sounds. Anyways, I've gotten lazy about it. I'm still going to call it back hair, even though I just had that realization because that's what everyone calls it. I realized that I'm doing way bigger sections back there, and that's all fine in theory until it won't dry fully for the next morning or even the next afternoon, and then I end up with frizzy hair in the back that is not doing any sort of a wave pattern, even though the hair in the front is. I like the direction of the hair going like this because of my front hair. I don't think I actually went into this. I started to and then I didn't. Here I am back at my tooth problem. The reason that I pin it in the direction I do is because it's rolled under, which that nice barrel curl that you can get is gotten by rolling under, obviously. If you want your hair to flip up or do like a Laura Petrie thing kind of a thing, then by all means roll it the other way. I like it rolling under. I think that it's very sleek and pretty. And my hair will naturally do the crazy. It will not naturally do the sleek and pretty, so I'm always trying to tame it. If you're trying to like get it roughed up a bit, then don't do exactly as I do. But I think the most important thing is to learn the principles of why we are doing things the way we are, and then adjust for, you know, your personal head. But anyway, so if you have it rolled under the way I was showing you, and the easiest way is to start by rolling it, you know, sort of facing this way, because if you try and do it the other way, you'll see what I mean. And then flipping it back, though, is what's going to keep it trained off your face. I hate having hair fall into my face. It is the actual worst. Now, for this side of my head, I have a few different methods I use, and I haven't actually fully decided which method I want to use tonight, because you can do stand-up curls on the top of your head, and that's a really great method for getting some more fullness, and I think I might go that way because I think that's the best result I've gotten with my current haircut. Or you can do them flat like you did on the rest of your head. But I think that, yeah, I'm going to do the stand-up curls. So usually I would do these first before I do the side hair, but I didn't know until literally this moment that I was going to do them. So, you know, whatever. So I like this section off. I have a little widow's peak here, and so on either side where all of my hair breakage is, fun, I just draw a nice straight part. So this is my part that I always have, and then I add in a part over here. I'm going to take just this front section of hair, like so. I'll move the rest behind, and then I want to comb this so that it stands straight up. Yes, really straight up like so. See that? So it's not leaning back or anything. You can lean back a little bit, but really you want it to sit right on top of itself. So it's better if it even leans a little bit forward. And then I'm going to do, I keep it flat just like with every other curl, and honestly this is no different from the other curl methods except for how you comb it and then how you pin it at the end. So when I get to the base of the hair shaft, I sit it right on top of that hair section. I do not pin it flat, and I take a bobby pin. I keep wanting to call them safety pins. A bobby pin from either direction, just like that. And see, then it just sits up there all nice. It doesn't, the top of your head is never interfered with by a pillow, so it doesn't get flattened if you're sleeping on it. And I'm going to do those stand-up curls right back to where the crown of my head is, right before the crown. So I think that's usually 3 curls for me, something like that. And you know, if your hair is thinner, then you don't have to do quite as many, and you can probably do it a bit faster. I'm always very envious of people who can pin up their whole head in like 10 minutes, because that's just not reality for me. I was blessed or cursed with a very full head of hair. Alright, so I'm going to do the next one. Here's a trick. So I have it all brushed straight up, but my hair, when it's straight up, is longer than my arm. So what I mainly want to make sure is happening is that this whole pattern is like this. But if I just hold it down, then I still have the right pattern, and I can curl it under like so. And I can still get that nice stand-up curl without having to like hire an arm extender or another person. I don't know why I jumped to the weird thing. So, again, ow. You should really not use your teeth. Ouch. Pin from either side. Here, I'll use my fingers for the second one since I don't have to hold on. And when I am going from the left side with the second pin, I'm crossing. So the first one goes and then it crosses like this, because again, they anchor each other in place that way, and it's very important because nobody wants to wake up to find that their pin or that their pin curls came loose in the middle of the night and they have one long straight strand of hair. It's the worst. Now, I'd like to say something about foam curlers, because I actually really like them. I have a set that is way too old that literally goes back to my childhood. I need new foam curlers. And back about 5 or 6 years ago, I had my hair cut really short. And what I would do, I would do those rollers all over my head, and it would come out super, super curly. And it was just kind of fun and bouncy and silly, and I enjoyed that a lot. Then I moved to Southern California, and my life just sort of got a little bit stressful, and also I found out how much less formal people in California are than in the Midwest, where I was going to school before. I grew up in the Midwest. I don't think I've ever mentioned that. I grew up in the Midwest and then was living in Colorado from 12 to 20, like 20 and a half. But then I went to school in Missouri for 2 years. So I grew up in Illinois and then in Colorado and then Missouri. And people in California are a lot more lax. So when I moved to California, which is where my parents are from, so it wasn't completely foreign to me. All my family lives here. Then I was in university, and I had transferred from a school where people dressed up a little bit, so I didn't feel completely out of my mind, like wearing vintage styles, and like I wore heels every day and all that. But then I moved to California, and people were wearing, you know, t-shirts if we were lucky, or swimsuits and t-shirts and flip-flops, and I really sort of let go of some of my style choices at that point for a while, and I think I was just trying to find myself and make sure that I wasn't putting my identity into the way I dressed too much. Okay, back. So hair, I'm separating it just like I did on this side. Now, I do realize just now, I'm right-handed, and so I pin from the top when I'm doing my left side, and I pin from the bottom when I'm doing my right. That's just a little tidbit. I don't want y'all trying to, like, come from that side and dying. So if you're left-handed, just reverse that, and it'll be fine. But yeah, I separated out just the front section. I'm doing 3 pin curls this time. There's definitely enough for that, and it'll be all good. And like I said, actually, let me show you this real quick. So I brush out just the same. And this one honestly does get pinned, or gets curled back in that direction. Again, it's because I'm right-handed, and so that's what's easy. And so it gets dum-da-dum all the way up to the base, and then again, twist it around and up on top of it, so just like that. So what I was saying though about school, so I just wanted to make sure that my identity wasn't being found in something that wasn't something I even loved. I just had a lot to worry about outside of that, and I think I was trying to fit in and be like normal or something, which totally overrated. Like, seriously, people, don't worry about that so much. Just getting a little bit dry. So, you know, just like anyone else trying to figure out who they are. And so I let those things slide for a while. I stopped wearing heels all the time, which is sad. I really, really, really love wearing heels, and I just sort of let my style slide. And I know what some of you are thinking, you know, I live so close to LA. Isn't LA like the style capital of the world? Yeah, for street fashion, that's very different from the sort of style I like. It's great style, don't get me wrong. I think street style is really cool. I cannot pull it off, and it doesn't suit me in any capacity. So I would look ridiculous if I was trying to do that, and it's not me. And so, yes, LA has some really cool fashions. No, they are not me. Alright, so now I'm sectioning off. This side is a lot more hair, so I usually have 3 sections, 3 layers. And then I'm going to And I'm just going to go through and do the same thing as I did on the first side, just like this. So anyways, after school, then I was working for Disney for almost 3 years. I left last year just because I needed to basically move on with my life. I loved working there, I really did, but I knew that it was time to leave. And it was a good decision. I miss it sometimes, but it was a good decision. And so somewhere in there, my passion started rekindling. Like, I never fully left it, but I started getting back into it in a more serious manner again. And that was partly while I was actually still at Disney because of Dapper Days, which I have blogged about some. So if you go to my blog, vintageperfectdesign.com, you can read some of those. I will put a link in the description if I remember to do so. And like my first Dapper Day that I went to, I just wore a dress I had made like several years earlier. My next Dapper Day that I went to, I made a dress, or I finished making a dress that I had started making several years earlier. And then my third Dapper Day, I planned and shopped and created a brand new dress, and it was really exciting. And so I've just sort of gotten back into those things. I think the other big thing was that while I was in school, I did not have time for sewing, not recreational sewing anyways, because I didn't have the right sort of space for it. I didn't have the right sort of mindset for it. I was in, 15 to 18 credits each semester, plus I was working work-study jobs. I started working at Disney my senior year, as well as a work-study job, and trying to do all of that while also having any form of social life. It was a lot. And my job, one of my work-study jobs was working in the costume design, or not costume design, well, kind of costume. I was working in the theater shop, the theater costume shop, and so I was building clothes for shows, and I was going shopping in the fashion district with my boss, and it was a really great experience. I honestly learned a lot from being there, and I love unstructured learning. I got a lot of it growing up with my mom's homeschooling methods and everything, and it's just such a great way to just sort of throw yourself into something, tell yourself you can figure out how to do it, and then do it. If Lita is watching this, there were definitely times when I said, yeah, I can do that, and then I figured out how to do it. Not because I had ever done it before, but because, in principle, I thought I could do it. And I will say, I came through, like, every time. So, that was my sewing outlet while I was in school. And then after school ended, I was just so caught up in trying to survive and trying to figure out all of the adult things that school kind of ignores teaching you about, like how to find an apartment, or how to, have a job, or how to save for things, or how to afford food. And so those were things that were taking up the priority of my mental space for a very long time. And then it seemed like every time that I started to get back into sewing, then something really big and bad happened, and it's like roommate situations and all of that malarkey that anyone who has had to live with roommates will understand. My roommate right now is a gem. She's been with me from the very start, and I love her to death, so there's nothing against her. Literal only roommate, well, not the only roommate I've ever enjoyed, actually. That is a complete lie. The only, no, I've enjoyed roommates, but this is the one who stuck with me, so that's a thing. Had some really bad experiences, but that's all in the past. So, I'm getting close to being done with this side. I know this is shaping up to be like a super long video. I don't know, I might cut some of this, except that I've been blabbering on so that don't really know where to cut it. But I guess they'll watch this tomorrow and decide whether I have anything interesting to say ever. And then we'll go from there. I'm sorry, it's getting a little bit dry right there. Ooh, that's slimy. It's an interesting texture for sure. Also, I'm doing all of this with my forward-facing camera as my mirror. But honestly, I just got a new phone and the camera on it is really good, so I'm not hating it. If I continue to make videos, then I will probably invest in like a good recording camera and lighting, which is one of the main issues of my life right now. I really appreciate good lighting and like I understand the basics of it, so I might invest in some things if I decide to keep up with this. You know, if you guys like this sort of video, which I know that they're a little bit longer, but you don't have to watch the whole thing if you aren't interested. I can talk for hours apparently and have very little qualms about sharing things with myself. Oh gosh, okay, so we're at the back of the head, which also, this is taking me longer than it usually does because I'm distracted. So, the back hair, I am going to be way more careful than I usually am with. So usually I'm like, I can't see it anyway, who cares? So, again, I'm sectioning it off. I'll do 3 sections. So I have the first one up here, and I usually would do 2 pin curls. This time, I'm going to do 3 because I want to love my hair. So, what I do, because I always part my hair over here, anything that sort of falls on this side of the head, I'm going to curl in the pattern of this side of the head. Anything on this side of the part will go in that direction. That's just an easy way to keep it uniform for me. Some people just go all haphazard on the back, and depending on your the style you're going for, that can work. My goal still is to get that perfect, you know, page boy roll, which I just love the look of, and then you can brush it out into like a bunch of little curls or whatever the heck you want. It's just a great look. It's very versatile. Okay, 1 pin curl down, 2 to go on this layer. But yeah, I tend to get a little bit lazy when I get to the end of my hair, so I'm trying not to do that today. Talking to all of you, essentially talking to myself apparently, is interesting enough that I think that it's keeping me from getting too bored. Which I don't know what that says about me and that's too big. And my, you know, big-headedness or whatever, but I don't know. I'm really not full of myself, I hope. I really hope. And also, if you have any tips and tricks for me about my curling technique, then I am all down to listen to you. I love learning new, accurate methods. Now, I know that I'm probably a bit more meticulous about how I do this than some, and a bit too careless for others. It's what I got for you. And also, I'm trying to do this on a daily because I love the look. That's a lot to keep up with, folks, especially when you gotta stay up super late at night to do it. And yeah, I know, just do it earlier in the night, but you know, my boyfriend don't leave until I should be crawling into bed, and then, oh, I'm sorry, I just called my boy. He's my fiance. I haven't had that slip yet. No, he's not my boyfriend, he's my fiance. That's funny, I've been engaged now for almost 2 months, and that's the first time I've had that slip. Anyway, sorry, really silly stuff. Anyways, so it's it's complicated. I cannot wait until we are married, and if I want to set my hair at night, I can just do so, and he won't be either kicked out early or sitting on the couch all alone or whatever, because, you know, he's coming over to my apartment right now, and it's just, things are complicated before you're married if you don't believe in living together first. So, yeah, it would be really, really nice to just have a home with him already. Oh, I'm getting real personal now. That's okay. I don't really mind. There we go. It's fun doing all the wedding planning stuff, which I'm going to start sharing a little bit about. I'm a little bit mixed up on how much I want to share about the wedding planning, because part of me loves the idea of documenting the whole process. Another part of me loves the idea of the surprise factor and wowing everybody, or at least surprising everybody at the actual wedding, and people not knowing what to expect. Then also, I'm like super traditional in my wedding taste, so like, how could that possibly be surprising? So I don't know. I have certain ideas that I'm really excited about and that I would really love to share. Just trying to decide how much I want to keep a surprise and keep, secret until after the wedding, and how much I want to like blast out to all of you. But I think it could be fun to, sort of bring you all along, and also to have my whole wedding planning experience documented, minus 2 months worth of it. But then that was all the million plans a minute stuff. So now that we have a venue, we have a venue, and we have a date, and we have all that kind of nonsense going on. Now that we have those things, it's a little bit easier to say these are the plans, because I know that they're not going to change the next day. So we shall see how much I will decide to share. But I would be very interested in your guys' opinions about that. If you've made it this far into the video, then I applaud you. I feel like you could use this as like one of those sleep videos where someone's just talking about mundane, boring stuff, and it makes you go to sleep. I'd be really good at doing those. Not gonna do those. They're low-key kind of creepy. Alright. So close. I am so close, and I'm so tired. It's like, I don't know what time it is. Probably like 2, at least. I've been doing this for 45 minutes, and I think I started this at like 1:15, 1:30, something like that. So, yeah, it's late. But hey, my hair will look fabulous. This is too thick. That's too thick. I'll like speed this part up some or something. There, we'll take a whole minute out of the video. Honestly though, some of my favorite videos to watch, and I might be alone in this, I'm really not sure, but some of my favorite videos to watch are people who are really just talking about like life and stuff, and sharing things, and they have similar interests with me, and I find it interesting, and perhaps it feels like I have boyfriend in the room. I don't know, but I like it. So I'm assuming I'm not the only one since the type of videos I like exist. So I'm gonna guess other people enjoy watching people talk about things. I'll get better at this as we go along. Everything is a work in progress. You know that I am working on life, on figuring out this social media stuff, this YouTube stuff, and all the stuffs, and the Etsy shop stuffs. Also, that's something. I started working on a new project tonight for the Etsy shop. I'm really excited. My cousin suggested this, and I'm really excited to get it out. I am making reusable. Actually, I'm not going to tell you. No, I'm going to keep that one a secret. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm going to keep that a secret. I'm going to wait until I can do a big reveal. That's more fun, I think. Obviously, I'm not planning things well enough. That's all I have left, guys. That's all I have left. So, at this point, you have the option of putting like a cap on. I don't. Partially I don't because I'm lazy like that, and my cap is kind of stretched out. But also, I feel like it makes it take even longer to dry. And now I'm hoping, because I've done smaller sections more uniformly over my head, so I'm hoping that this will be dry by a decent time tomorrow. But we will see. I do not have the head hair dryer thing. I'm hoping though that it will get dry. But I don't really wear the hairnet because the way I do the bobby pins, I've never had a curl like come loose, or at least not that I can remember. And it's fine. It really is. I should probably get a satin pillowcase, but anyways. Okay. I am all finished, finally. If you have stuck with me this far, thank you for listening to my ramblings. And I'm going to do a video in the morning. I'll take out, well, probably not morning, but tomorrow when they're dry, I'm going to take out all the curls, and I'll take a video showing that and showing the end result and everything. Hopefully that comes out well, and I don't know if I'll put this all together as one video or if I'll do part 1 and part 2. Probably part 1 and part 2, just to keep it from getting too dreadfully long. But keep a lookout, and I will see you all in the morning. Have a good night.